Let's be real for a second. In e-commerce, if you're only relying on paid ads, you're essentially building your entire business on rented land. The second you stop paying, it all disappears. Today, we're diving into Shopify SEO for 2026. This is the blueprint for actually owning your traffic and building a brand that lasts.
So let's start with a question that I'm pretty sure keeps every Shopify owner up at night. Is my store basically invisible on Google? I mean, you've poured all this time, money, and passion into your products, your website looks amazing, but if your customers can't find you when they search, does any of it really matter?
All right, so let's get into it. Why would your store be invisible? Well, it really just boils down to this crazy, intense battle for attention in a super crowded online world. You're not just up against a couple of other stores, you're literally competing against everyone.
When you think about it, you've got two main choices. You can keep throwing money at paid ads, but you know those costs are just going up and up. And the traffic, it just vanishes the second you turn off the spending. Or you can invest in organic SEO. Now that is the path to real sustainable growth. You're attracting people who are already looking for what you sell, and you're building this amazing, consistent flow of free traffic.
And here's the cold, hard truth of being invisible online. When someone searches for a product you sell and you're nowhere to be found on that first page, that sale isn't just lost in the void. Nope. It goes straight into the pocket of a competitor who actually put in the work on their SEO.
But here's the thing, getting your store visible isn't about using the same old dusty tricks. The whole game has changed. All those little shortcuts that might have worked a few years back, now they can actually get you penalized. To win in 2026, you absolutely have to play by Google's new rules.
You can see the evolution right here. I mean, we've gone from the old days of just jamming keywords onto a page to Google's helpful content updates, which really started cracking down on weak, thin content. And now, for 2026, the big focus is on EEAT, that's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, and getting your site ready for SGE, Google's new AI-powered search experience.
So, when you strip away all the complexity, what does Google's algorithm really want? It's simple, really. It rewards stores that nail three things. Your store has to be fast, your content has to be genuinely helpful, and your entire site has to scream trustworthy. So how do you actually do all that? It can definitely feel a little overwhelming, but don't worry, there's a really clear framework for getting this right on Shopify. Just think of this next part as your strategic blueprint for success.
Your entire strategy really rests on these three pillars. First up, you've got to sort out your technical health. That means a fast, mobile-friendly site that Google can easily understand. Second, you need content excellence. We're talking no more boring, generic descriptions. And third, you have to build authority and trust. This is where things like real customer reviews and getting links from other quality sites come into play.
Okay, enough with the theory, let's get practical. Where do you actually start making changes to get the biggest bang for your buck? We're going to focus on the pages that really truly move the needle for any online store.
Your product pages are your bread and butter. They're the money makers. This is where someone with a high intent to buy ends up, which makes them, without a doubt, the #1 place to start your SEO overhaul.
And please listen to this warning. Using those generic copy and pasted descriptions you got from your supplier, it isn't just a bit lazy, it will actively hurt your store's visibility. Google sees that as low-value duplicate content, and it will push you down in the rankings. Okay, so what does a winning product page actually look like now? Well, it all starts with unique descriptions that are written to convert. You need product titles that match what people are actually typing into Google. Of course, you need high-quality images, and you absolutely must have real customer reviews with something called schema markup. That's just a bit of code that helps Google understand and even show your star ratings right in the search results.
Now, while your product pages are key for those super specific searches, they aren't your only weapon. Your collection pages are a massive, often overlooked opportunity to rank for those broader, category-level searches. They're a secret weapon if you use them right.
And optimizing them is pretty straightforward. Start with a strong, keyword-focused title. Add a good descriptive paragraph of text above the product grid. This gives Google some much-needed context. An FAQ section is a brilliant way to capture those longer question-based searches. And finally, use internal links to create pathways that guide both your customers and the search engine crawlers deeper into your site.
So you did it. You got the click. But that's only half the battle, right? Ranking high on Google is totally pointless if those visitors land on your site and then immediately leave without buying anything.
We have to connect the SEO traffic to actual real sales. I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. In 2026, over 70% of all traffic to Shopify stores is going to come from a mobile device. 70%. If your store isn't built from the ground up for a phone screen, you are literally telling the vast majority of your potential customers to go away.
This means your site has to be fast. Your main content needs to load in under 2.5 seconds. That's a key Google metric. Your buttons need to be big enough for a thumb to easily tap, and having a sticky Add to Cart button that's always visible can make a huge difference for conversions. You see, these aren't just little design tweaks. They're critical for both your rankings and your revenue.
And finally, think about it. A visitor who finds you on Google probably has no idea who you are. You have to earn their trust, and you have to do it instantly. These things we call trust signals, like showing off real reviews, displaying security badges, having a clear return policy, that's what makes a stranger feel safe enough to actually pull out their credit card and buy from you.
Whew, okay. We have covered a ton of ground, from Google's new rulebook to specific tactics you can use on your pages. So let's pull it all together into one final, actionable summary. This is your roadmap.
You know, when you lay it all out, it really comes down to 4 key areas, with one big action for each. First, nail your technical health. Fix your site speed. Second, go deep on content. Write unique copy. Third, build your authority with real reviews and quality links. And finally, optimize for conversions by going all in on mobile and trust. That's the formula right there.
So after seeing this whole blueprint, the question really isn't if SEO works. The question is, what's your first step going to be? Are you ready to stop being invisible and start turning your Shopify store into a legitimate, high-powered sales engine?
You know, the strategies we've walked through today aren't just theory. They're the proven methods used by top e-commerce agencies like StarterX, who live and breathe this stuff every day, helping Shopify stores scale. For anyone looking to really dive in and apply these ideas, checking out how the experts do it can be a really smart next step in turning that newfound visibility into real, sustainable growth.